Rhoda Kaplan. Mina Khan. Muhammad Khan. Joanna Clement. Eric Kohler. Alvin Lane. Sylvia Lobo. Samaya McGill. Nadia Bolero. Jessica Fong. Madeline Center. Megan Wigley. Cesar Reynosa. Robin Roy. James Rubin. Anthony Sazetta. Natalie Sears. Hikari Sugisaki. Eric Tendian. Julia Sear. And now Mr. Santiago and Advisory 309.
It is my honor to present the graduating members of Advisory 309 for their diplomas. Nathaniel Lagueras. Andrew Bernauer. Connor Blake. Michelle Posenda. Christina Sina. Emma Coleman. Jeanette Denay. Darian Rolla. Nora Hardy. Joanne Wynn. Robert Jackson. Janet King. William Kirby. Brandon Lequanet. Mika Lorenz Lim. Rohel Mehmet. Kristen Boulain. Ifani Chukwu Tinduku. Kristen Osaka. Nicole Pineda. Akala Raman. Diana Robet. Patrick Rodriguez. Alden Shu. Henricus Tankus. And Michelle Tran. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor our graduates in the class of 2014.
Speaking on behalf of the class of 2013, Ms. Jenny Wang will present the valedictorian.
Before we begin, I'd like to say that what you just saw here on stage is the epitome of why I love Northside. We all came in as classmates, but we leave as the closest of friends. That's just how close our community is. One might even say that we will always stick together. Fun and games aside, let's get serious. Good evening, teachers, administrators, parents and family, fellow students, and of course, the Northside College Prep Concert and Community Bands. orchestra loyalist, I must point out that your instruments conspicuously lack strings. But despite that glaring deficiency, the music tonight has been pretty swell. To the lean and mean, best ever seen, class of 2013. Congratulations. Congratulations on a truly special accomplishment. Of the many classes that will graduate from this wonderful school, only a single class can hold the distinct honor of graduating with Mr. Rogers. And assuming he passes his consumer ed requirement, we were the ones to do it. So let's give ourselves a hand. But in all seriousness, I wanted to take a moment to thank Mr. Rogers. He's been a great leader for our school, an ardent advocate for so many of the things that make Northside the special place that it is. And most importantly, he's been the driving force behind literally hundreds of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood jokes. I think we're all going to miss these moving forward. So I wanted to begin tonight by pointing out that over the next 45 minutes, I have a very, very difficult job. I'm starting to see some nervous shifting in the audience, so let me go ahead and clarify that that last line was a joke. The practice run only took 42 minutes. Now, why is my job so difficult, you ask? Well, it's obvious. My speech is a roadblock. Sure, I got good grades. I studied pretty diligently, and I moodled harder than a Moodle could mood, if a Moodle could mood. But at the end of the day, I am still an impediment, a hindrance, an obstruction, the final barrier standing between you and your graduated glory. I am the Hoover Dam to your Colorado rivers. The 1929 crash to your roaring 20s. The Republican caucus to your legislative agendas. And by the way, can we have a hand for the social sciences department, without which these beautiful metaphors would be impossible? And while we're at it, can we have a hand for the English department, without which metaphors would be impossible? Great. After pondering this challenge last week, I concluded that the solution was simple. Make my speech memorable. But memorable is far easier said than done. At first I contemplated giving no speech at all, but then I grew afraid that my speech might be mistaken for a piece of modern art. I briefly considered giving Northside's Our First Interpretive Dance valedictory address, but I didn't want to leave shoes too large to ever be filled. Literally. I thought about carefully describing a set of equations to model the ups and downs of the times we face here at Northside, but this seemed too much like a math homework assignment. Then I thought about writing a poem to capture my feelings and emotions about what we've learned here in our time. But this seemed too much like an IMP homework assignment. So I decided instead to go back to the basics, back to the beginning. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. We first heard these words together as a class during a welcome speech by Mr. Rogers during freshman orientation back in August 2009. That speech happened roughly 30,000 hours ago, and so by my calculations, we've heard these oh-so-celebrated lines of Robert Frost nearly 300,000 times.